Have you ever heard someone say, I'm a glass half full kind of person? What does that mean? Does it really tell us something about someone? Maybe it predicts their attitude or how they see the world. Well, scholars are beginning to think that it's a little more complicated than that. Studies and the experience of educators are telling us to dig deeper, to look at a person's mindset, to really understand how they see the world, but more importantly, how they see themselves. So let's look at mindset and discover what it means and why it's so important. The definition of mindset is a mental attitude or inclination. Carol Dweck literally wrote the book on the topic. And in her book, Mindset, The Psychology of Success, she identifies two types of mindsets. A fixed mindset, which is the belief that your abilities are fixed, that you have what you have and you can't do much about it. These people usually often feel like they fail if something goes wrong because there's something lacking within themselves. And then there's a growth mindset. This is the feeling that you can do anything or acquire any ability if you put in enough effort. These folks don't let setbacks stop them. So what type of mindset do you have? Well, let's take a look at some examples of mindsets and how they contribute to success. So here's a study. It's from 2015, Stanford University. It was published by Mindset Scholars Network. And it researched the relationship between 10th graders and their mindsets and their performance on a standardized test. So students who had a growth mindset were 3 times more likely to score in the top 20% on the test, while those with a fixed mindset were 4 times more likely to score in the bottom 20%. So what this means is that the growth mindset allows you to do better on tests and kind of just going through your life better, more successfully. So how does a mindset form? Well, the brain is a complicated machine and it makes these connections for us. And we use these connections to navigate through life. So let's look at what I mean by that. I'm going to give you some advertising slogans, and I want you just quickly to try to think of what company it comes from or what brand it's from. Melts in your mouth, not in your hands. The quicker picker upper. Bet you can't eat just one. Everkiss begins with just do it. And can you hear me now? So how'd you do? And more importantly, what's the point? Well, the point is that you didn't have to study to remember those, and you probably did pretty well on them. And why? Why did you do so well? The reason is that words are sticky. We connect words to things, situations, emotions. We don't even have to try. So here's the catch. That same internal magic that caused you to remember those advertising slogans, even if you hadn't heard them for years, is at work making other connections. How so? Well, if, for example, you made a mistake and without hesitating you said, oh, I'm so stupid. Oh, I'm so dumb. Well, you just made a connection. You made a connection between a situation and a statement about your self-worth. It's something called self-talk. Let's take a closer look at it. Self-talk is the act or practice of talking to oneself, either aloud or silently. We all do it. It's a huge part of who we are. So when we encounter a situation, we are quick to remember a phrase that we associate with that situation as quickly and easily as we remember those advertising slogans. So you need to pay attention to your self-talk and the connections that you're making about yourself and about others. So, okay, we can pay attention, but what can we do about it? Well, Erica Anderson, she's a business thinker and author. She shares a 4-step process for focusing on improving your self-talk. The first is to recognize, so you have to listen for it in order to hear it. The second is to record, write it down, because once you write it down, you kind of take away some of its power over you. To revise it, so flip the script and determine that you're going to focus on positive self-talk, and then to repeat. So you have to keep doing it and keep working at it in order to make it a habit. Turning self-talk around could be the difference in your life and career and your success. So let's circle back to mindset, which we first started talking about, and see how the two go hand in hand. So if you have a growth mindset, you're more likely to have positive self-talk and vice versa. Mindsets don't change in the approximately 6 minutes that we've spent together. It takes work and it needs to be purposeful. But I'd like to challenge you to examine your mindset and your self-talk and consider how these things contribute to your life and what steps you can take to improve them. Our world and our lives are not controllable. I think we've learned that over the last week or so. But we can control our state of mind, and we can control how we treat ourselves and others. So having the power to determine our mindset and our self-talk is the key. So does it really matter if that glass is half empty or half full? Well, Mark Cuban said, it doesn't matter if the glass is half empty or full. All that matters is that you are the one pouring the water. Thank you.